The Spirit also makes us bold in prayer. On their release, Peter and John return to the gathering of God's people, and they report what the chief priests and the elders have said to them. And when the gathering of God's people heard what the Sanhedrin had ordered, instructed, commanded, threatened, they raised their voices together in prayer. United prayer. And here's what they prayed. Sovereign Lord. Sovereign Lord. The word there for sovereign is despotes. We think of despots in a negative sense. Ruling, just narcissistic rulers who have their way all the time. But in the Greek, despotes has to do with the position of the lord of a house. And it does convey the idea of unlimited and unconditional authority. And so in their prayer, they're expressing sovereignty to the God of the universe, saying, Sovereign Lord, you are the one over all. You have unlimited and unconditional authority, and we recognize that. They go on to say, you made the heavens and the earth and everything in it. There's nothing that is not by your hand. And then they go on to say, you spoke by our servant David, your servant David, in Psalm 2, and said that the nations would rage and that rulers and kings would oppose the anointed one. And then they point out in verse 28, you willed. These men, Herod, Pontius Pilate, this Sanhedrin, they have done what your power and will decided beforehand should happen. They knew that what took place in their life was not something that was a surprise to God in heaven, who made them and who placed them in the context of Jerusalem to be bold witnesses for Christ. He was sovereign over their circumstances. And so they pray to this sovereign Lord, the one who has unlimited authority and unconditional ability. They pray, Lord, consider their threats and enable your servants to speak your word with great boldness. They knew their place in God's will, and they prayed boldly, asking God to give them boldness in speaking. Not just the 12 apostles, all of them together prayed for this boldness.